Freedomizer Radio, where Freedomizers freedomize freedom. It's feline fury time.
Standing for your principles, I understand that. What I don't get is the fact that you're sabotaging what you're doing, and you're sabotaging what everybody else is doing because you don't want to play nice with others. We can talk about Judge Kearns, for example. I've shown that video that you put on YouTube, and I've seen the video, and I've shown it to other attorneys, and every attorney has come to the same conclusion. That Judge Kearns did the right thing, and he acquitted your friend of the helmet violation because the state did not prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Judge Kearns did the right thing, and it's not Judge Kearns' fault that the prosecutor didn't know what he was talking about. The judge is there, and the judge is presented with the laws, and that prosecutor wasn't prepared at all. And so, of course, the judge then has to go and look up the laws and do what he needs to do. But your treatment of Judge Kearns was so unfair and just so wrong that there's a lot of people in the motorcycle community that just choose not to be associated with you because we can't be associated with that. We're trying to do good. We're trying to make change. And being associated with you takes us 2 steps backward for every step we do forward. I don't think you're fair. I don't think you're reasonable. I think you have a lot of passion, and I know you think you're right. And you might be right on some things. But because you're wrong on others and you go so passionately after people and go for the kill, nobody wants to hear you when you're right. And that's just not something we can be associated with.
You are a constitutionalist, correct?
Absolutely. And just like there's a First Amendment right, well, let's talk about 2 First Amendment rights. There's the First Amendment right, freedom of speech, and there's also the First Amendment right of freedom of association. So if you're going to exercise your freedom of speech in an offensive way that doesn't help what I'm trying to do, I'm going to exercise my freedom of association and choose not to be associated with you. And that's why you're not on the U.S. Defender's Facebook page, and that's not why we will not associate you, because you won't change the way you do things, and it makes our life harder. You have every right to say what you want to say. For heaven's sakes, talk, do whatever you want. Just, I don't want to be associated with that, and neither does anybody else in my organization.
When you say neither does anybody else, there were several likes.
I didn't pay attention to any of the likes. Honestly, I didn't care. And the legislature has friends, and the legislature doesn't mind when you fairly criticize their friends. But the legislature doesn't want you unfairly criticizing their friends because they think that you're the kind of person that will unfairly criticize them if you don't get what you want too. You know, it's playing nice with others. You know, it is the U.S. Defenders Organization. I'm the Southern Nevada commander for the U.S. Defenders Organization. It's a biker civil rights organization, and we fight hard to make sure everybody's constitutional rights are in fact honored. You know, we do a lot for this community. It's not a matter of your First Amendment rights. It's a matter of whether or not we want to be associated with somebody that acts without thinking about the repercussions and hurts the cause.
Let me ask you this question. How long has Nevada been a helmet bondage state?
I have no idea. And honestly, I don't care.
Oh, okay. Over 40 years. Now, you said play nice to get what you want. Now, before I came along, and I only got involved 2.5 years ago with the legislative process, I was with you. Hey, let's get the stats and let's prove that it's a freedom of expression thing. It's a freedom of choice. I was there with you 2.5 years ago. Recently, by the way, got the DVD that will absolutely expose the legislators that not only were not our friends, they pretended to be our friends and stabbed us in the back. I think it's illogical to believe that by playing nice with a system that is not designed to play nice, that has a completely different set of rules for themselves compared to the citizenry, I think that's illogical.
How are things working out for you with the way you've been handling things? What have been the results?
In the history of Nevada, never once has a helmet choice bill gotten out of a committee. Not once. When I got involved 2.5 years ago in the 2011 legislative process, Shirley Breeden was the chair of the Senate Transportation Committee. She kind of used us, and so did Senator Mark Menendo. We held a hearing. Basically, I think she thought that she was going to do the exact same thing that had been happening for 40 years, which is just kind of tuck the bill underneath, and who cares? It's just bikers. So what I did was I continued to very nicely. I called her, she spoke to me, and I memorialized the conversation. And I said, okay, so you said that the only thing that you're waiting for, Senator Breeden, is to hear from your insurance people. So I consulted the insurance experts that I know and provided her with what she had asked for. So 24 to 48 hours before the deadline to vote yes or no on that bill, when I saw that she wasn't moving, I sent out a massive email, and I said, Senator Breeden is stalling us, and I created...
There you go. TigerLily, why do you all of a sudden jump to these stupid conclusions? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to call you stupid. I didn't mean that. But how do you know she's stalling you? Do you know how much work those people do? You know, you throw out all these allegations, and you don't have any evidence that she was doing it to stalling you. You only have evidence that she's not doing it as fast as you want her to. Or maybe she even broke a promise to you. But that's the exact type of thing that I'm talking about. You're sabotaging everybody that's trying to do things. You're making it so that not only do you not get what you want, but nobody else gets what they want. Do you have any evidence that she purposely tried to stall you?
I don't have any tangible evidence that she deliberately stalled the bill. I do have evidence, however, that when push came to shove and she got so much mail from the people that I incited that she sent a text message to Bones, I know you know who Bones is, and told Bones, please tell your people to back off. I am going to put the bill to a vote. This is the first time in the 40 years history that a helmet choice bill had been put to a vote. And it's my opinion that it was as a direct result of the slamming that she got by the email that I produced.
Exactly. That's what you do, TigerLily. You slam people. That's what you do. And that's why we can't be associated with you. You said it yourself. That's not the kind of action I want to be any part of. You know, there are people that are willing to work and do things, but we're not willing to do it your way.
Fair enough. The other piece of evidence I have that circumstantial evidence that would indicate to me that she was stalling the bill is that here she campaigned with Abate. Here Abate helped her get elected. And when push came to shove, both she and Senator Menendo, who were co-sponsors, voted no. They didn't vote no.
Do you think Abate's the only people that helped her to get elected?
Oh, I'm certain not.
I mean, even if she gets elected, that doesn't mean she owes anybody anything. You elect somebody to think for themselves and to make a good decision, and you may or you may not like what they have to say or do. But she doesn't owe you anything.
So you really are of the belief that our elected officials nationally have a 6% approval rating, by the way. You really think that our elected officials are there to represent us?
They're certainly there to represent us. That is a true statement. Okay, how they represent us, that's up for debate. But they've got a very tough job to do, and they're doing it however they're doing it for whatever reason they're doing it. You know, I can't speak for these people, and I can't even comment on some of them that I don't even know. But the fact is, they're our representatives, and that's the constitutional republic that they're in. So they're going to do what they're going to do, you know. And if you don't like it, you can work to change it, okay? But these bully tactics have to stop. You're making us all look bad.
Well, what about the bully tactics that the police are using against us because of the helmet law and other laws? Are you not offended by that?
Let's talk about it specifically. What exactly are the bully tactics the police are using against you? Please tell me.
In 2009, there was a party at the Harley-Davidson Henderson area there, and there were 100 motorcyclists who were stopped by police, and because of their helmet, that was the excuse that they used, that they didn't have a legal helmet and it was a helmet inspection. So these cops pulled all these guys over, and they said, you got two choices. You can either get a ticket or you can go back to where you came from. Well, about half of them chose to get a ticket, and of course it's not just a ticket, because once you get pulled over, these cops with guns and badges, they'll get you for everything that they can possibly get you. They harass you, basically. And you know that. I mean, you're a representative.
There are some police officers that harass, and I go after them. We even got one fired here recently, and he ran into the back of one of my clients, and then he tried to bully him into not making a report. And he was fired for that. Well, technically he resigned, but he was given the option of resigning or being fired. Whenever we have evidence of police officers that shouldn't be police officers, we certainly go after those people. But the fact of the matter is, we have a helmet law in the state of Nevada. And the fact of the matter is, if police do their jobs correctly, you can be found guilty of the helmet law in the state of Nevada. We're able to fight, and we're able to get a lot of these things dismissed because they don't do their job correctly. And when they don't do their job correctly, you cannot prove that case, and we're able to have a lot of success with that. But the law is on the book. We have to deal with that. And if someone's pulled over and there's reasonable suspicion that they've committed some crime, including the helmet law, if there's any kind of reasonable suspicion, they're allowed to be pulled over. And if the police officer thinks that there's a probable cause that something's been committed, he's allowed to write a citation, and that's not unconstitutional. And then it has to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's where we get them a lot of times. And frankly, there's some police officers that overstep their bounds on numerous occasions, and we'll deal with them. The police officer's just trying to do his job. I have no problem with the police officers. I have problems with police officers that go beyond their constitutional duties. That's the problem I have.
What percentage of police officers do you think go beyond their call of duty?
I have no idea. I don't know enough of them to know. What my clients bring to me, it's usually when something's happened. They're not just talking to talk, but they're bringing me something, and about half the time someone brings me something, I look at this and say, do you know what, that's not right. Okay, so of the police officers I have dealt with, and that's, I think it's a skewed number because who I deal with and when they come to me, there's a problem when they come to me, about half.
All right. Well, do you mind if I say, would you like to say who you are?
Well, my name is Stubbs.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate you and taking the time to call in and give your side of the story. And congratulations for getting that police officer to resign. From what I saw on that YouTube, it appeared he was drunk. And
there is no evidence he was under the influence. There's only evidence that he was a jerk. During
the performance of their duties, the Las Vegas Police Department killed in 2011 12 innocent people, and none of them got fired. In fact, all of them got paid time off. And so this is the system that you're supporting, and this is the system that I'm exposing. And so I thank you so much.
Let's make this clear. It's not the system I'm supporting. It's the system I'm working in to effectuate the correct change. Okay, I think that's the big difference between me and you. I'll work in the system, and I think we'll get a lot more results that way. And you're trying to change the system and offend people. You do it by offending people. I think that's an honest statement, and I don't think you'll disagree with that. You're someone that likes to attack and be on the attack. And I'm not criticizing you. I'm just analyzing the situation. But TigerLily, I do want to say I don't hate you. Some people have said that I hate you. That's not true. I just choose not to be associated with you because I don't agree with how you do things, and I appreciate your passion. You're trying to do something right. I have no doubt in my mind you're trying to do the best you can, the best way can, or you know how to. I just can't be associated with you because of your methods, but I do wish you luck.
That's fair enough, and I wish you as well. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to participate in my show.
Okay.
And good luck.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is TigerLily, TigerLily's Freedom Roar on Freedomizer Radio, and I look forward to another great show this time next week. And I want a special thanks to Mr. Steven Stubbs, who was gracious enough to come on in to the show. Have a great weekend, folks.
Freedomizer Radio, where Freedomizers freedomize freedom.